years. She has a Master of Law from George Washington University and a law degree from the Faculté de Droit et des Sciences in Haiti. She has more, but I'm just, we don't have time. Mr. Attorney Annel-Stephan Norgaisse is an attorney in New York and New Jersey. He has many interesting things. He's got a Master's of Science in Counseling Education. He has a JD degree. He got a degree in International and Comparative Law at Magdalen College of Oxford University. That's wow, as far as we're concerned.
It's not a degree, it's a certificate of completion.
Well, we're still very impressed. He practices law in his own firm, and it covers an array of areas. He is the former president and currently a board member of the Haitian-American Lawyers Association of New York. He volunteers in the Haitian Education Action League in Haiti. Dr. Jean-Yves Plaisir is a full professor in the Teacher Education Department at the Borough of Manhattan Community College. He holds a doctorate, and not one, but 2 master's degrees from Columbia University Teachers College with emphasis in comparative and international education and applied linguistics in teacher education. After the 2010 earthquake devastated higher education infrastructure in Haiti, Dr. Plaisir spearheaded an inter-university collaboration between City University of New York and the Haitian Ministry of Education. And there is now, as a result of Professor Plaisir's efforts, a City University of New York Haitian Studies Institute on the campus of Brooklyn College. We could go into their accomplishments all evening. And thank you, Professor Plaisir, for giving us a map of Haiti. And basically, the structure is going to be the following. On the flyer, we have questions 1 through 6. I'd like Judge Garnier to address number 1. Then we'll go to Professor Plaisir's PowerPoint covering 2 through 5. Then Judge Garnier and Attorney Norgaisse will discuss whichever numbers 2 through 5 they wish, and then every one of the panelists will discuss number 6. So, but I'll just remind you as we go on. So, Judge Garnier, can you tell us that?
Hold on one second, Audrey. I want to let everyone know that this is being recorded. With your permission, it's not being live streamed. It's just being recorded. So with your permission,
now we are.
Now we are live streaming. Yes. Okay, so it's being live streamed. If you prefer that we pause the live stream while you're talking or anything like that, just tell us, and we have no problem doing that. But we just want as many people as possible to be able to see it, and some people wanted to come tonight and couldn't, and so that's why we're recording it.
Okay, so let's go back to Judge Garnier. Judge Garnier, can you tell us about Haiti's proud history? And speak up so everybody can hear you.
We talk so much about Haiti, all the beautiful things that Haiti has done, and yet it is so poor. Sometimes I feel that I don't want to talk about the proud history of Haiti anymore because it does not show. People don't understand why we are where we are today after all that. However, since you want me to talk about it, I will brush on it.
Thank you.
Thank you. You see, what we have is a country that had very strong individuals. From the time they were very young, they fought for the liberation of Savannah. You had Colon Christophe, who was Henri Christophe, who was about 12 years old when he participated in the Battle of Savannah. He also became one of the people who liberated Haiti. He became the second president of Haiti when the first president, Dessalines, was assassinated because he wanted everybody to be able to enjoy the fruits of the revolution. What do I mean by that? You had the French who owned everything, and they had the slaves. But there were Haitians who were born. They had their mothers were slaves, but they had some kind of a little fling with the big boss, and they had children who become mulattoes. And those children sometimes had certain benefits. They became free very early. They went to school in France, for example. They worked with their fathers, so they had some standing in the country. When they started to foment some type of movement to have a revolution, they weren't really interested in having a revolution because they were already doing great. Some of them even had workers, quote unquote, slaves working for them. But the problem is at one point, France decided we don't want to have any more colored people free. Everybody is going to be a slave. There is no such thing as a free Haitian, a free person in Haiti. So then they decided, well, you know something, we have to participate and make it happen because we can no longer be a slave. So at the time, you had new Haitians coming to the country because the French, they bombarded Haiti with new slaves who did not get accustomed to the new culture, to the culture of the French. They didn't speak French. They didn't understand anything. And they were dumped in the country by the thousands. So you had the old Haitians who understood the culture, and you had the new ones. And this is something that will be a problem for the development of Haiti till today. What you have is a country that is divided into two major different groups. So you have the law, which is the written law in Haiti, but you also have to pay attention to customary law because the people in Haiti, the masses, go by that. So what do you have? You have a situation where the revolution occurs, the people fight, all the slaves fight, and how were they able to get together to fight? Very interesting to talk about the history of our religion. What you have is that they could not speak the same language because, as you know, in Africa, they have different dialects. They didn't all come from the same place, but they understood the rhythm of the drums. They had certain symbols that connected them together. And through those symbols, they were able to understand each other and want to fight for the same thing. That's how the revolution occurred. And the revolution started with a very strong man who was kicked out of Jamaica. His name was Bookman. They had a big ceremony where we call it a Boakaima. And he told everybody, they had a pig, put a big knife in the pig and say, anyone who wants to live free or die, come around. And they all tasted of the blood of the pig and the revolution started. His name was Bookman. Why? Because when he was in Jamaica, he always had a book. He was a Muslim. He always had his Quran. And he was teaching all the slaves how to read and write. Every time they took the book away from him, he managed to create a new one. So finally, they got rid of him and sent him to the French in Haiti. They were tough, and they would know how to deal with that person. Well, he started the revolution. Bookman. Very important to show you how important it is the connection between Jamaica, the Jamaican, and the Haitian. And this goes all over Latin America. There is a strong connection. So what happened? We had the revolution, and the people who had privileges continued to have privileges. You had those farmer generals, they got the big chunks of the land. You had some people who were concubines, who got some chunk. It was not a question of color, and this is very important to talk about. Although many of the people who had a lot were lighter because they were sons, bastards of their fathers, but there were some who were Black and who were rich because they were generals, and they also got some land. So what happened? They wanted to maintain that superiority. So Jean-Jacques Dessalines, who became the first president of Haiti, said, we have the revolution. If you take everything, what about all the Haitians who fought for the revolution? What are they going to have? Well, And also, he said, we have to continue to work. Because if you don't maintain the plantations, how are we going to maintain the country? How will we develop and have a strong economy? Guess what happened to him? He was killed. Okay. So now that Jean-Jacques Dessalines is killed, you have Henri Christophe, as I said, who fought for Savannah. He was 12 years old. Henri Christophe became the second president of Haiti, declared himself king, from power. But the country is now divided in two groups. You have a group called Kako in the north fighting, and you have the Piquet fighting in the south. They all want to maintain the leadership of the country. So the country can never really work. It's chaos. You have Pétion in the south, and you have Christophe, you have all these people on the other side. How are they going to be maintaining the cohesion of the country in a situation like that? Well, they couldn't. That's what led to the occupation of Haiti by the United States in 1915. Now, what is important to mention is that although Haiti fought for their freedom and they became the first Black republic, nobody recognized it. In fact, it was extremely important for them to put a cap on Haiti so that the other slaves in the United States and everywhere else, because it's important to note that in the South America, slavery was thriving still, while Haiti was free. So they had to make sure that all the other places, particularly the Blacks in the United States, never attempted to try what Haiti did. So Haiti was crushed, severely crushed. Embargo upon embargo. Nothing could work for us. And this continued on and on and on and on and on. At one point, we became so weak that the French decided that we had to pay them for all their loss during the revolution. It was an amount so huge that you could, I don't know, big numbers, you could say maybe $2 billion, $3 trillion, but it was a money that once Haiti paid, it could never develop. The United States occupied Haiti in 1915 and wanted to make sure that Haiti would pay that indemnity to France.
Thank you.
I am not done.
Okay.
Okay, so then what happened? They came, they occupied the country, and they never created not a school, nothing. They wanted to impose their sports on the country. Haitians refused. Baseball, they refused. They played soccer. They could not get them to do anything. The only legacy that they left for Haiti was an army. We call it the Army of Occupation. And that army did one thing in Haiti, or two, was to perform coup d'etat, overthrow governments upon governments, or had serious corruption and made lots of money. Most of them were trained at West Point or somewhere in the United States. They were well read, but they used Haiti as a cash cow. And the United States supported them. Governments were put not by a true election, but by a nomination by the general. It was a farce. So then what happened? We ended up having Duvalier, who became the strongest, the most ferocious dictator that you can ever dream of. He stayed there forever, and because he declared that he was against communism, the United States gave him all support and backup necessary to maintain his power. Whenever a Haitian tried to do something to overthrow Duvalier, even if he organized it in the United States, by the time he landed in Haiti, he was dead. People were leaving the country. They could not stay because their children were taken away and killed. That's how you have a brain drain that occurred in Haiti. We provided to this country, to Canada, to Africa, all the most wonderful professors that were trained for free in Haiti. It is important to note that education is basically free in Haiti. You go to medical school for free. You go to law school for free. The princess pays. All these people who learned and took their diploma in Haiti came to the United States and gave their services here. They were so good that although the board is very difficult to pass, they were able to pass it just after studying in Haiti. They became, so it's once you told me to talk about Haiti, I had to give you enough so that you understand.
Thank you, that was wonderful. Although some of it is very sad, but we appreciate it. And I really would love to hear more. It's just that we have more topics.
Okay.
Okay, now we're switching to Professor Plaisir to talk about questions 2 through 5. Then Mr. Attorney Norgaisse and Judge Garnier will talk about those things as well, and then everyone will talk about 6. So let's go now to Professor Plaisir, who has a PowerPoint.
First off, I'd like to thank Manhattan Community Board 7 for organizing this forum. Special thanks goes to Audrey Isaacs, and I was very impressed with the way she answers my emails in a kind of expeditious manner, and even at a very late time of the night. I was really, seriously, I was impressed by that. And secondly, I'd like to thank Carlene Kerr, who's not here, but she's the catalyst who coordinated, who's conspired with Audrey to bring me here. And when I came here, I was pleasantly surprised to reconnect with my colleague, Shelley. Fine, he's fine, and I'm pleasant. I'm pleasant. I'm pleasant. And so tonight I have a very pleasant surprise for you. If you would come, please join us. And that's the surprise I was telling you about. I'm bringing to share it with you, if you and share some of my minutes with you. Someone who embodies strength. Judge Garnier talked about the strength of the Haitian people, right? She also talked about connections. She also talks about the sort of like eagerness to fight for freedom. And so when I came here tonight, Lionel, who is a pioneer of Haitian radio, asked me, what is the theme you are going to talk about? Because he knows of my academic tradition. I always have a theme. So the theme tonight is connection. I just stole it from you, okay? Because you mentioned that word 5 times already. So let me just add before I have Guy that I do not want anybody to think that it was only men who fought in the Haitian Revolution. In fact, it was Dessalines' aunt, Toya, who taught him how to fight. It was a woman who taught Dessalines how to fight. And there were Fatima, there were so many others. So women and men together fought for the Haitian Revolution. And I brought this up because I am about diversity, regardless of religion, sexual orientation, places of origin, all of us together, gender, transgender, all of us together can make a difference. So without further ado, this talk is not about what I can tell you, but there's someone who can articulate better the point that I'm trying to make tonight. And this is a point in reference to what has been said about Haiti, what has been said about Haitians. So Guy, could you please tell the board, now you are testifying to the board, okay?
First of all, tell us your name.
Okay, yes.
Tell us your affiliation.
Okay.
Tell us who you are.
What a task. Good evening. My name is Guy Gerald, and I was born in Haiti. And I came here in August of 2010 as an international student. I got accepted at Borough of Manhattan Community College. And my story wouldn't be possible if it weren't for Dr. Plaisir sitting here. I remember I met him when I was a young man 75 years ago. And he married one of the most beautiful women in my family. And so every time he traveled to Haiti, we would talk and go places. And I remember once he asked me what I wanted to do. And I told him that one of my biggest dreams was to earn a degree from an American university. So I didn't want, unlike my peers, I didn't just want to come to the United States. I wanted to earn a degree from the US. I wanted to go to college here. And he told me right away that this was possible, and he could actually help me achieving that goal. And in 2009, I applied to CUNY and I got accepted. I was supposed to start in the spring of 2010, but then the earthquake hit, so I had to postpone my plans. So August of 2010, I came here and I started school right away. But at that time, my English was just barely enough to get accepted at CUNY, but not enough to start regular college classes. So I had to spend an entire semester taking ESL classes, intensive ESL classes.
It was very successful.
Oh, I hope so.
Absolutely amazing.
I hope so. Thank you. And so I started BMCC. I had an associate's degree in business administration. I was involved in a lot of student activities. I created the International Student Club over there. I was fortunate enough to be a two-term president for that student club. And after I graduated from the MCC, Dr. Plaisir threw me one of the biggest graduation parties in his home. And I remember he pulled me to the side and started talking and asked me what's next. So I said, well, the most logical next step would be for me to get my bachelor's degree now. And he was very pleased with the idea. And so I applied for transfer admissions at Peru. And I remember very quickly, I know we have a time constraint here. I was sitting on my computer and on Macy's.com buying a blazer, a Calvin Klein blazer. The original price was $395. That was back in 2013. So original price, I had been watching it. The original price was $395. And on that day, there was a deep discount and it went down to $75. So I said to myself, this is the time, I'm gonna get it. Now, as I'm putting it in the shopping cart and getting ready to actually process the transaction, I got an email notification on my laptop from Columbia University. And the subject read, continue your story here. So I figured, that's interesting. So I clicked on it, I opened it up, and I read through the email. By the time I got to the last sentence, I could literally see myself at Columbia University as a student. So I decided not to get the blazer anymore. And I used the money I was gonna buy the blazer to pay for the application fee, which was $70. $5 less than the blazer. And so I applied to Columbia, and to my surprise, I was accepted, and I graduated last year. With
Which school were you in?
General Studies.
And what was your major?
Economics.
Uh-huh. And then what?
So now I'm
Good question.
She's asking for more.
I know.
Good.
So now I'm a finance manager for CUNY. I work at the Advanced Science Research Center, and I'm getting ready to start an MBA in the fall this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so the big goal is to go back to Haiti, hopefully by 2025. And
What's your plan?
so the plan is actually, but one of the if we could take a few steps back to 2010, one of the reasons so many people died during the earthquake is because the majority of our buildings were not built to standards. So what I want to do, I want to go back and create a company that will actually build apartment complexes that bring affordable, decent living conditions to Haitians back there, and then use part of that profit to create a scholarship fund for students both in Haiti and here.
Great.
Good. Okay, so I just wanted to highlight that this is what happens when you give young people, young men, young women, regardless of where they come from, opportunities to improve themselves. It's not about him, though it's his success story. It's not about me, but it's about the will to transform lives. I'm a person who went through CUNY, and I'm proud to say that my background, I come from a very kind of, lowly, humble background. But through an education, I'm able to improve myself. And I think this country can help many young people like Guy and other people like myself, and to really make a difference, not only in our lives, but in the lives of others.
See, I see what really made the difference.
Yes.
You had a mentor.
That helps.
You had someone you could ask the questions to guide you, to encourage you, and he was always there for you.
Yeah.
And that is so important.
He
That's-
invested millions of dollars worth of advice on me.
But you did it.
You did it. You did it.
That's
So-
fantastic.
So when I hear disparaging comments about Haitians, about other, people from other countries, all I said is give them a chance, give them some opportunity instead of putting them down.
Here.
So let me see how are Haitian Americans doing? Well, we have had many successes, starting from our own New York City, where we elected someone, council member Eugene, Matthew Eugene, who was invited to be here. We also elected Assemblywoman Wadney's Bishop. We have a long line of success. Although we entered American politics very late, but we do now have a woman of Haitian origin as a congresswoman, Maya Love. Yes, Maya Love is, yes, it's from Haiti, and Utah. Yeah, but she lived in Massachusetts, in the Boston area. That's where she grew up, and we have others. The point is, Haitian Americans are getting more involved in American political life. But Haitian Americans have been contributing to the greatness of this country from the time that the Louisiana Purchase was made. It was because of the Haitian Revolution that Judge Garnier talked about that resulted in the sale of the Louisiana Purchase. And the Americans got it for $15 million.
What a steal.
It was a giveaway. But exactly. But I want to, Guy's story exemplifies that Haitians are hardworking people. They are law-abiding citizens, and they are also very proud. And Judge Garnier highlighted that point. However, we face many social and political and economic problems, as was said by Judge Garnier. And those problems we can overcome them if we come together, with the support of American friends and fellow Americans just like this board here. So it was because of the advocacy of progressive-minded Americans that we were able to reverse the discriminatory practices of the FDA. Some of us were at this march, right, 1990, right, under Mayor Dinkins. We immobilized New York City. And right in front of Federal Plaza, we made a big clamor that caused the American administration at the time to reverse its discriminatory policies against Haitian Haitians. You remember the 3 H's, right? Haitians,
AIDS.
right, for AIDS, HIV, AIDS, right? So we've gone through a lot, but we've overcome a lot. We have had many victories, and we are ready with the support of our American friends and family members to take on the looming challenges that I see this administration is trying, to impose upon us. Yes. We do have food insecurity challenges, both in Haiti and in our Haitian community. And I heard about some of the challenges that you are facing. You are dealing with those families. Some of them undocumented families, and if I can be of any help with the after-school program, I'd like to help. Okay. We have limited access to healthcare, both in Haiti and the United States. While there is a rise of domestic violence, which is tied in our Haitian community currently, and we believe, and if I dig, I will find literature that support when people are stressed, when people are anxious, when people are worried, they take it on their family members. That's logical. Okay, so the rise of domestic violence currently in our Haitian community is closely tied to the anxiety that they are feeling due to, because there is a threat that the TPS, temporary protective status, might be terminated under this administration.
Not might.
It's a might because I still believe that our hands, because faith, you see, this is about faith too. I'm a person of faith, and the fight that we are, involved in requires. And you mentioned faith there too, by the way. In your, the revolution started with faith, not weapons. So the fight is we start with faith. I'm a person of faith, also a person of action. So faith and action can transform the world. So we have about 58,000 to 60,000 Haitians who might lose, TPS status. The Haitian economy is not ready. Like Haiti is not ready to absorb these additional families. So Haitian-Americans in the United States will also be impacted severely if these families are deported to Haiti. Okay, so we need to garner community support with folks like yourselves and others to clamor for policy that is equitable to all people, not just Haitians, but to all the DACA kids, the dreamers, and the TPS recipients. And when we look at the profile of the TPS, Haitian TPS recipients here, they have been contributing to the economy of the United States. They have been, he is paying taxes. The first person, the first economy to benefit from the hard work of Haitians in the United States is the American economy, because they take taxes before they pay us our paycheck, right? So, and from that money, we pay bills, by the way. You have to pay your bills here before you can even send money to Haiti, because you have to, make sure that, hey, you're not going to be, in trouble, homeless. Yes, but it's true. But I hesitated because I know the plight, and I heard the testimony or the plight of homeless people, and how we have very progressive-minded people who are sacrificing and trying to help them. So I'm very sensitive to the realities, the conditions of people who are living without a home. And what I'm also saying too is that with education, as we heard, right, the children of these unfortunate, these disadvantaged families can rise from the ashes. That's Christophe's word. From the ashes, the phoenix will rise.
Professor, may I interrupt you?
Thank you.
And let me have Attorney Norgaisse and Judge Garnier talk about whatever they wish to say on questions 2 through 5, and then I'll ask all the panelists to address question 6. So, Attorney Norgaisse, why don't you go next?
All right. First of all, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for having me, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak on these questions. I like to say first, I think I'm a very blessed Haitian American, because born in the United States, at 2 years old, I went to live in Haiti. and I came back when I was 11 going on 12. I've been living here ever since. So my Creole is probably better than my English, even though I'm born American. So I had the best of both worlds in the sense that I could connect with my Haitians in Haiti, and as well as my fellow Americans in the United States. And I thank God for that, and I definitely thank my parents for finding a way to make the connections, because as Haitians, they recognize that I'm a Haitian, but they also recognize that I'm an American. So I do think that. And one of the questions is, how are Haitians doing? I would like to say that Haitians are doing well, but unhappy. Haitians are doing well because when we are given an opportunity, we take the opportunity and we take it 10 steps ahead. But we are also unhappy, despite the fact that we fought in the Battle of Savannah to help the U.S. get its revolutionary, win their revolution. We helped the U.S. The U.S. is the biggest beneficiary of the Haitian Revolution by gaining the Louisiana Purchase. And we come here, we've been labeled as boat people. We've been labeled as, excuse my language, people from the shithole country. And we've also been labeled as been accused of the one bringing AIDS to this country. So although, from just looking at Dr. Plaisir's statistics, we come here, we've taken the American culture, we made it part of ours, but yet what we brought was never taken into account. And so we are doing well. We are doing well because when we are given an opportunity, my mother came here, didn't have her papers. She had a tourist visa. She came as a tourist, and then she went to NYU, graduated, went to nursing school, graduated second in her class, speaks 4 languages. But when she came here, she didn't speak English. And graduated second in her class, and single mother, raised a son to go to Oxford.
That's no joke.
That is no joke. So when a Haitian is given an opportunity,
They take it.
they take it. So we are unhappy because at the end of the day, we are human. What do every human want? Every human wants to have access to education, access to healthcare, and access to opportunities. Not give us, but give us the access. And what we want is not what the American citizen doesn't want. And I speak of this not just for Haitians, but for every immigrant, because they do throw all the immigrants in the same basket. So I have to speak today for not just Haitians, but for every immigrant. As such, therefore, all immigrant wants is the same thing the citizens want. And all I can ask on behalf of the immigrant is, please give me an opportunity, include me. And I think when you're talking about inclusive, if I have to pay taxes, make me pay taxes. Because when I say include, it's not just let's get the benefits and you don't have to pay your duties. You should pay your duties as well. So include them in the taxes, and they do pay taxes. So give them the opportunity, and you will see what they will do with it. And when we look at the immigrants, and we look at the amount of benefits we get from the immigrants, how they provide success, not just for themselves, but for us, for restaurants, the hotel business. A large portion of the employees are immigrants, but they've helped the owners do well. And so as far as the Haitians are doing well, I think we are doing well, but we are unhappy because we have never received the recognition we want. And that's all we want, nothing more. We're not asking anyone to give to us. And then as the president of the Haitian-American Lawyers Association, as the former president of the Haitian-American Lawyers Association, an organization of attorneys, a lot of them, most of them are attorneys. And it's only been 4 years, since it's been founded. And during the 4 years, we have accumulated already 200 Haitian members who are all attorneys. And they all will tell you they are first generation born Americans. So that means their parents came with no papers and they were given the opportunity, they were able to raise children to donate to the American society. Now, so basically, I think I just answered the question, what is needed by Haitians and Haitian American? Opportunity and access and inclusive. And everyone would benefit, not just the Haitian from that. And in regards to TPS, as an attorney, I could say that I have filed in 2010, when the TPS was granted, I filed TPS application for Haitians who were qualified for TPS. And the funny thing is, a couple of years later, those were the same clients that came to my office to purchase homes for me to represent them in a real estate transaction. They were given the opportunity, they took advantage of the opportunity, and they were, so some say, you know, these immigrants, and I'm going to refer to the whole, not just Haitians, some immigrants were, when they come to this country, what they do is that they hurt our people. That, well, I think every culture has a couple of bad apples in the bunch. Every culture has a couple of bad apples in the bunch, and Haitians are no different. We have a couple of bad apples in our bunches. But does that mean the whole group, even Americans, should not benefit from the services, the economic donations that immigrants provide? No, we should all be able to benefit. So I think we should all be inclusive. And then now there's a reality we have to deal with, is that CPS has been taken away. DACA, because some of the people that benefit from DACA have been taken away. So now what do we do? And these is where I call on not just the politicians, I call on the not-for-profit world. I call in for the not-for-profit that does work in Haiti, because I do work with some of them in Haiti. It's just that now the work is not just going to be, okay, what do we do here in the US, but what do we do in Haiti? And then that's where I call for adjustments, helping the people to adjust. Some of these kids are not, quite honestly, yeah, they were born in Haiti, they don't have papers, but truly they are Americans. If you've been living here since you were 3 years old, and now you're 30 years old, and you go into Haiti, you don't speak Creole, most of them. Let's be real. They don't speak Creole. Most of their kids are kids that speak English. How are they going to adjust to a country they don't even know how to go around? They don't even know where to go. They don't speak the language. So this is where I call on the not-for-profit to help with the adjustment. And then on the other hand, I also ask the politicians, let's really work on this, because here's the problem immigrants faces. Unfortunately for immigrants, the problems that concerns them, they don't have the power of voting. So a politician does not have to listen to an immigrant, because the immigrants' issues, let me be part of the major, let me be part of the bigger, let me get a bigger piece of the pie. Let me be part of the bigger piece of the pie. But the politicians' concerns, even myself included, when we're voting on tax, healthcare, and education. So those are the primary voters' worry. That's what we vote on. Depending on the tax laws or the tax plan that this person has, that will determine who we vote for. But now I'm asking everyone and politicians, put immigration in that factor. Make immigration a factor. Because unless we make immigration a factor, the politicians, they need to get voted. They're gonna work on what appeals to their constituents.
Let me just interrupt you. Judge
That's all.
Garnier.
I was finished too.
Oh, okay. Judge
Yes.
Garnier,
Well,
what would you like to talk about?
number 4, policy of the United States. Impact of U.S. governmental policies on Haiti and Haitian Americans. Number 4. Okay. All right. I have to say that I always distinguish between the U.S. government and U.S. citizens, because I recognize, being here, that Americans don't know what's happening. I understand that they don't understand what's happening. I have had the opportunity to live in 2 worlds. I worked for the U.S. Department of Justice in Haiti. I was the only Haitian American lawyer, not Haitian, lawyer in Haiti, Haitian lawyer, who worked for the Department of Justice in Haiti. So I was able to see the problem. When I came back here, I said, oh my God, how come Americans are so gullible? How come they just sit tight and they don't say anything? They don't try to understand what's happening. Well, let's talk about it. American policies, a lot of money. I believe 90% of the money that you're paying for your taxes go into paying people to help countries like Haiti, but they do not help Haiti. Let me give you an example. Let's say, for example, the US government says, I'm gonna give the Department of Agriculture in Haiti $100,000. Okay, that $100,000, I want you to buy $50,000 worth of Ford car, $20,000 worth of motors to generator to have electricity for your plants in the agriculture department, etc. That sounds great, but you know where the problem lies? The Ford that they sent to Haiti with that money never reaches Haiti. The Ford does. That Ford was custom built for the United States, and the parts are not sold in Haiti. Which means that in 4 or 5 years, those cars are dumped in the 4 corners of the country, dead. They cannot be repaired because they did not have a budget to repair those cars, and the parts that we have in Haiti are from
A different dealer.
a different dealer. They're from Japan. Okay, so that's one example. Second example, for example, I had the opportunity to work for a 4-star general in Haiti in Operation Uphold Democracy. I was the Haitian with him. I traveled the country by helicopter, visited all the courts, and trying to determine for them what kind of help they could bring to Haiti. Let me tell you what I discovered. We went to places, the general didn't understand anything. He was a sweetheart. He wanted to see Haiti develop. He wanted the best for the country. And you know what? He realized that there wasn't much he could do. When we gathered all the information and they come and they send some people to implement whatever it is recommendations that he gave, these people came as attorneys from the United States, earning a big salary and spending their per diem in the country. Their money is deposited here, and they get girlfriends, friends here and there, and they go around, they write a beautiful project, nothing concerning the justice system. When you take someone like me, who is an American, a Haitian lawyer, and I would like to explain to them, this is what you could do to make the system better, they don't even understand it because our laws are different. We have Roman law. We are codified. They don't get it. When I say we have in Haiti 2 different people, the masses have their own laws. And we do take that into account when they go to court. They don't understand it. So what do? Let's say the US, for example, hires some French lawyers because we have allegedly the same law. That's not true. So what do these guys do? Because I have had some work for me. What do? They take something that they prepared for friends. They just change a few things and put Haiti where it said friends. Totally, I mean, they didn't pay attention to it. They didn't care. They're just earning their money. So I would have to take these things and try to correct them and adapt them to me, to what it is that we want. Sometimes it's impossible because it's so at odds with what we have. So that being said, it's not the US citizens' fault that Haiti is where it is today. If I add, for example, the last elections we had where Hillary Clinton was the candidate, Haitians did not vote for the most part because they would not vote for Hillary Clinton for a very simple reason. They have the foundation. And when the earthquake occurred, a lot of money was funneled and channeled through the foundation to help Haiti. We don't know where that went. I'm not saying that they gobbled it up. I'm not saying that they did anything corrupt, but I'm just saying that in the same channel that nothing is ever done properly, they never managed to do anything with it that Haitians could palpate. So Haitians do not trust her, they do not trust the Clintons, and they will not vote. Where does that put us? Okay, we have Trump. Thank God for him, because but for Trump, I wouldn't be at this table today. I bet if he didn't talk about us, we wouldn't invite us today. Right? So it's a great thing. So the problem is this. If we want to help Haiti, we have to talk to people like the professor. You have to talk to people like me. Not because I'm anything, but because I know a few things. I can tell you where to go. I can tell you that if you want to help Haiti, you have to go to groups that are organized in the 10 departments of Haiti. And then see if you can pick something that would help that particular milieu and invest there. Because if you go through the government, and that's the problem, you always have a bunch of people who become rich once they become senator or deputy, whatever it is that they become, and the country goes down to pot. President Clinton imposed more sanctions against the third world than all the presidents of the United States put together. Not because he's a bad man, because he apologized for that later on, not too long ago. The problem is that he never took the time to understand that. When, for example, you put an embargo on Haiti because there was a coup d'etat against Aristide, you're not punishing the big guys, you're punishing the people. Because guess what happens? You have the black market for the goods. The same rich people who garnered all the money, quote unquote, help given to Haiti, then they are selling at a high price all those goods that are not able to be shipped to Haiti because of the embargo. So then we go down and down and down and deeper. In Haiti, we have very intelligent people. For some reason, I can guarantee you one thing. Haitians are very bright. Whether they know how to read or write, they understand. And if you give them 2 months, they speak your language. And I am not kidding you. Okay? Just like him, when I came to the United States, I was almost 15 years old. I went to Brandeis High School. They put me in ESL program. We got it, brother. Okay? I went to ESL program. In 2 months, they had to take me out of there. You know, because it was no use. I already know the language. We steal the language. Okay? So what happens is that if you want to help Haiti, let's try to see if we can pinpoint people that are very important in all the 10 departments of Haiti. And from them, let's see what they want and let's give the help. There are areas in Haiti where they never have an earthquake or never a hurricane, like the Central Plateau. It's a paradise. If you want to save your life from the hurricane that's happening here, go to the Central Plateau in Haiti. It's a fantastic place. Okay? And when I hear people say, you know, Haiti is so bad, I guarantee you one thing. If you've never been to Haiti, if you know where to go, you're going to go there, you're going to want to stay. Because the weather is perfect. And I'm not kidding when I say the weather is perfect. It's perfect. Okay? You have the mountains, even though we inherited the worst part of Haiti, because what they did, you know how we have our little piece of land. I'm just trying to give you the maximum I can so you can help me the best you can. You know, what happened was that you have the French coming as pirates, taking people from Africa, taking things from Africa in different places and trying to get into the country and dumping. At the time, you had the Spaniards. It was Saint-Domingue. And the Spaniards were pushing the French away to the point where they stuffed them in a place called La Tortue. But then there became so many of them, they ended up having to deal with them. It became so unbearable, all those French people bothering them. They ended up ceding to them the 1/3 of the island, which is the part that is in the mountain, totally eroded. I mean, that could be eroded because at the time it wasn't. Okay, and they took all the plains. So Haiti is the bad part of the island. So the French, with the slaves, they managed to make it the richest place in Latin America with the help, with the force, the manpower of the slaves. This is the country. This is what Haiti is. So the country is not easy. Now that you have the people, and because remember when I told you that the people of Haiti have no land, because the land was distributed to the big guys. So you have a system where the people are on the property, they are working as what we call de moitié, meaning half and half. So they work, they spend the money, their manpower and everything they produce, and whatever they produce, half of it goes to the master of the land, who doesn't even know the country, the land itself. So they don't protect it. They allow it to erode. They cut the trees to make charcoal so that they can cook their food. So the country is totally gone. Even the fish cannot reproduce because the areas where the fish lay their eggs is all covered with mud. So if we want to help, we have to provide solar panels, energy, solar panels. If Haitians have energy, the country is going to boom. Because right now what's happening is that even though we know that cutting the trees is dangerous, you cannot tell them not to cut the trees because that's all they have. So you have to produce an alternative way for them to have energy, for their children to be able to study, for them to be able to produce their food. I see that people are leaving, so we have to stop. Okay, so this is the story of Haiti. We have a very, very, very tough situation, and it is not an easy solution. Presently, we have a president. I don't know him. I barely remember his name. But one thing I know is that he's trying his best. He is trying to irrigate the whole Latibonite, which used to produce all the rice that Haitians ate. We had the best rice in Haiti. But then at one point, the United States had an excess production of rice. So what they were doing is that they were taking the bran, selling in the health food stores. They were taking everything good out of the rice, but the white starch that women, they had to find a place to dump it. So what they did is that they destroyed the whole Latibonite area so that they could dump that rice in Haiti. So Haitians could not produce rice anymore. The whole area got destroyed, and we don't have that Haitian rice anymore. They're eating that starch, whatever is left of that rice that was dumped on Haiti. In addition, Haiti has a bank. The bank was the pigs. That's what they used to send their kids to school. They would raise their pigs, and when the pigs are fat, in October, they sell it, and that's how they bought clothes and paid for school. One day, the United States came over and said, you know what? All the pigs have a disease. It's something that they're all going to be contaminating the whole area. We have to destroy them. And they went all over the country and destroyed all the pigs. Some people tried to manage to save it. If they found it, they killed it. They destroyed the pigs. Got it? Then one day, they came with some kind of a rain acid. I don't know what it was. They destroyed the coconuts in the whole area of the north. Okay? So this is a country that has been destroyed. But there's a lot of resource, and it can come back. I guarantee you that if you take a piece of a branch of a tree and you try to make a border for your property, you plant it around the periphery of your property, it grows out as a tree. Do you know that? My general, the American general with whom I worked, said to me, you know something, this is paradise. I have never seen anything like that. This country could become the best. And he said, I want to live to the day that I see that happen. When he came back to the United States, he could not leave his lights on anymore. He told his children, turn the lights off. They have no light in Haiti. He could not have the water running while he's brushing his teeth anymore. He had to use this and measure the water. Because he said, Haitians don't have water. Let's preserve it so that we can remember what a precious thing this is. So we need to help Haiti. What we need, in addition to providing some way for them to have energy, we have to find a way to put Haiti back on the map. We have to do that. Try to help people remember what Haiti represents. Like the attorney just said, there is so much that Haitians do, but nobody knows. Let's try to help Haitians and Americans and everybody else understand what Haiti represents. Let's talk about real history, because we have common history. Let's bring it to the forefront. Let's try to make sure that they add that to the textbooks that are being taught in school, because this is history. There is no reason why Americans don't understand what Haitians have brought to this country. It is American history. So if you want to help Haiti, you have to bring that to the forefront. Our history, our common history. In addition, if we could have a way to make ourselves heard, radio, television, invite the professor, Invite them to talk about this. Invite this attorney who knows how to express himself, who understands the problem, to talk about it so that people can understand what's happening.
Let me just say that this program is being live streamed, and we will make sure that people have access to all the incredible things. I have to say, I've been to many programs. This has touched me so, so deeply to hear all of you. Thank you for sharing.
I will say one thing. When you help someone develop, you don't help them develop in the way you want them to develop. You help them develop in the way that benefits them.
Important.
Yeah. Because it is interesting. At 21 years old, I wrote a thesis on Haiti and democracy. And I think, Haiti, I think it was a very interesting topic that I wrote on. We can have a democracy, but we have to have a democracy that will work for us. Not a democracy or an economic system or an agricultural system that works for the US, and somebody comes and dump it on us. And I think in the words of development, in the words of assisting us, when you assist someone, it's kind of like you're raising a child, and you see a child that is developed, a child is good at art, but you tell them to do science. That's not gonna work. So you have somebody like, one of the things I take a pride of is that I participate with not-for-profit organization that will help, and that's helping Haitians in the way that will be there 20, 30 years, not a quick fix, because a quick fix is what you give to a crackhead. And we are not crackheads. That's it.
I
Wow.
want to thank everyone who participated. Carlene, Kyle, could you please stand up? Carlene, stand up. Carlene was very helpful in telling me about Professor Plaisir. I knew Judge Garnier, and through the internet, I found Attorney Norgaisse. Thank you so much.
I want to say that Audrey is amazing.
Yes, Audrey is amazing.
She's just
Yes.
amazing.
Yes.
She's just amazing.
I told you so.
Tired.
I had that two other
Through the emails I found out she's very amazing.
Right.
And it's a pleasure to meet you.
Audrey's amazing, and she's organized a number of programs like this. Well, nothing like this. I really appreciate everybody coming and sharing their stories and perspectives, and I appreciate how open and genuine you all were, because I think that when you're like open-hearted and honest, then it's a lot easier to understand people when they're being telling the truth and being open. So I feel like I learned so much tonight, and I'm so grateful that you're all here with us and that you came. And we should open it up to questions or comments. If anyone wants to make a comment.
Carlene, Kyle, stand up, please. Speak up so we can hear you.
Okay. My comment is, so much to be done. But unless Haiti as a government, as leaders that the people of Haiti can trust, that's number one. Number two, unless the United States, the government of the United States understands that Haiti is a republic, right? That Haiti cannot be their backyard and treat us as if we are their subjects and telling us what to do. We have to have governments, we have to have men and women strong enough to say, no, we have the republic. We fought for our independence. We want respect. We will work with you, but let us decide what is best for the country. Okay, another one. Many years ago, they have here, the Haitians have here formed some sort of an organization. I think they call it the 10th department, the 10th department of Haiti, which means that the way I say it, if we really want to work, and I agree with you, Judge, that if we want to help, we have to go to all of the departments and then find out, the best way to help that particular department. But the way I say it could be that the G10 department here could be on top. Then all of the 9 departments could join, could be attached to the main department, and then also have umbrellas. In each department, you have umbrellas of the different areas, and have committees from the lawyers, the doctors, etc., to be part of that, or for each department, and see how they can help. Instead of, doing it like everybody's doing something individual, it's like my organization. And then you start getting some money, and then all of a sudden you have to close it because you're not getting enough money. And then you dump the people. But with that organization, and then having the branches, each, how do you call that again? I just said the word, I'm so nervous now.
Umbrellas.
This not only umbrellas, but the departments, the 9 departments, each, like branching to that main. So anything that has to be done for Haiti, anything that is very, very crucial for such, whatever that department is, comes first to the head, to the umbrella.
Can I say something in regards to that? That Haiti currently has that, and it's the problem actually, because when you look at Haiti, everybody thinks Port-au-Prince is Haiti, and I'm sorry, I'm from Gonaïve. My family's from Gonaïve, and if you ever want to see the beauties of Haiti, go to the north side, leave Port-au-Prince, start driving up. I guarantee you leave not even 30 minutes, 20 minutes outside of Port-au-Prince, you start seeing the water, you want to stop your car and go and get in the water. So the problem currently Haiti faces is that the world sees Port-au-Prince as Haiti. And if you ever been to La Citadelle, if you ever been to Bassin Bleu in Jacques Mel, you've ever been Bassin Zim and around Hesh, around Hesh. I've been to Bassin Zim. And if you ever been, so what you're talking about having that centralized is what we currently have, and that's what has destroyed us, because if you live in Gonaïve and you live in Jacquemin and you live in Jérémy and you need a passport, you gotta, if you live in a passport, you gotta get in a car, drive 2 hours, 4 hours to a place central because it's centralized. They actually try to decentralize it because it has hurt them when the earthquake happened. When the earthquake happened, because it was so centralized that everything, immigration, like I practice immigration. One of the things that happens is that currently we are having problems with people who are coming here legally because the U.S. government doesn't trust their papers, and because the Port-au-Prince, the archives. That's what I was looking for. The archives were destroyed by the earthquake, and because it was so centralized that the local, if you're from Gonaïve, if you're from there, because the archives were destroyed during the earthquake, you couldn't get your papers. So the centralized has hurt it because it is centralized right now, and they try to decentralize it. And that's one of the things the current president is talking about now, is that you should not have to leave, because if you have a car, you can get in your car and drive. But if you don't, you got to get public transportation. You're wasting a whole day to just come to the capital.
If you live in the northwest or extreme part of southwest, you cannot even get to Port-au-Prince.
Right. So that's the problem. So it has hurt. That what you're saying, I understand what you're saying, but some of it has hurt us.
Let me quickly jump in and add something to. Oh, you have.
Go ahead. There's something that's burning inside
yes,
of me.
please.
things I heard tonight, I didn't ever hear before. I had little inklings of them because I studied history and so on. And of course, we have the streamings. That helps for those who are watching. Are there articles? Are there books that bring this to life? Because I'm in education.
Yeah.
I would love to spread information wherever I go, because people need to know the connection between the United States and Haiti. The historic connection. Once they see that, that begins the changing of perspective.
Right.
And then understanding how, where we think we're helping, where we've hurt Haiti so bad and Haitian people so bad by our policies and our actions, where the United States tries to put us up as the big brother, the father who has come to help the poor people, instead destroy the crops, destroy the land.
Yes.
If people know that, then when policies are being, people can answer it with facts, with ideas, with real things.
Let me say something real quick.
No, let me jump, because I've been waiting for a while. I would be glad to, in fact, I will send Audrey a bibliography, a list of books, current and past publications on Haiti, its history, its people, its resources and all. Because Haiti is one of the most studied countries in Latin America and the Caribbean. And the Haitian language, by the way, Creole, Haitian Creole, one of the most...
No, has been declared the language of the century.
Yes.
It's being taught now in Harvard. Because, after each century, they pick a language, a new language to speak.
Right.
Creole is that. Haitian Creole
Haitian
is
Creole.
that one for this century.
By the way, I have taught Haitian Creole in the police department, in the police academy. I have taught Haitian Creole in various settings, academic settings and all of
By the way, this school district,
Yes.
they were trying to teach, they had trilingual program in PS9,
Right.
the old PS9. And they were trying to teach French
Mhm.
to the immigrant Haitian kids. And we had people come from City College and other places to
That's
testify at time that this is not appropriate.
Correct.
And the argument of Creole isn't a language. Okay.
That's
Oh.
It's a language.
And
we have our grammar.
But we
everything.
did succeed in changing it.
Okay, great.
And hopefully, but that's
Good job.
Great. Great job.
One thing I wanted to point out to your question, to your answer, also, this is that now, it is not that the Haitians in Haiti are asking the U.S. to help. The Haitians here who have been given an opportunity, who have, through immigration laws, get their papers and are working and have an education, have contributed to the Haitian economy. At one point in time, it was, at first I heard, the first time I looked into it, it was a quarter of Haitian economy came from Haitians here sending money back home. And then it went to 1/3. I don't know currently what the numbers are.
Currently, Haitians send
But,
annual...
hold on for 1 second. Currently, also Haitians have currently, to support what she's saying, Haitian organizations have gone to Haiti to do work. I have an organization that I do go to Haiti with this April I'm going to Haiti. Every year it's called Heal Haiti, Health Education Action League. We go to Haiti, we go to Saint-Marc, and every year we've seen at least in one day, 1,300 patients. And we provide them medication, free medication for 3 months. So when you give a Haitian an opportunity, you're not only giving one person an opportunity, you're giving all that section of their families an opportunity. So anyone who's connected to a politician, do write to them concerning including it, because if the Haitians who are here get help, it also means the Haitians who are there get help. And there's a Haitian saying, a Haitian here gets a cold, their families gets a fever.
That's
Let
true.
me just interrupt you. People in the audience, do you have questions or comments? Oh, yes.
Yes.
Gentleman in the back. Oh, lady, okay, go ahead. Tell us your name.
By the way, she's the founder of the organization I go to Haiti with.
Okay, tell us your name.
Yeah, my name is Greta Fier. I'm quite professional. I'm a nurse, and right now I'm presently working as a faculty of Pace University. So no need to say that education is my heart. Coming here, I left Haiti, but my history, I've been a nurse since 1973.
I just want to know the name of your organization.
Health Education Action League for Haiti, Heal Haiti. I will give you my card. So being here, since 1973, I've been working as a nurse. So it's time for me to give back. So when I went to the for the earthquake, oh my God, and I realized we have to do something. As George, thank you so much for being so transparent. I have never met you, and I'm very proud of you. Seriously, that you really, make me proud. And to really express, to really have able to express, to let it out, okay, and tell it just like it is. And I've been going back and forth as Annel-Stephan Norgaisse has been said. We've been going for many, so I found it something. I have to do something. And I found it is working. And ironically, we as a grassroots non-profit organization, we go there, we got the lingo, we see the people, we see the need, the amount of begging that we have to do. If it doesn't for the Haitian community of our grassroots, our people, we will never go over there to help. But when you look at this big organization, yeah, they're doing something. However, when we go, we know what the people need. We know we can talk to them. They understand us. So as Miss Garnier was saying, can we have, instead to go in silo, can we have someone listen and say, oh, look, how many Gretas, how many Haitians wants to do? Let's sit down. Let's go and see what we can do as a grassroots. And let's change it. Let's change the narrative. Yes, I must say, USAID went, Red Cross went, this one's went. What about if we have a 10-com, like a collaboration? We create something among Haitians and see what we can do. Can we have a voice? We Haitian-American here, and see, let's sit down and see what we can do. Yes?
Very good. Gentlemen.
You have a question? Yes.
I wanted to follow up on that, if I may. The World Bank might be an interesting model, because what I'm hearing, and of course we're here in a community board, so we are as close to the ground in terms of government as they make, which is sometimes a challenge because our access to power is very limited. But what I'm really struck by, and what I'm hearing tonight, is how the need. Well, it goes with a perception, and the perception is that aid. Now I'm talking about global aid from Washington, wants a centralized source of power. But the problem is that making sure that the value that is contributed gets to the places of need is the challenge. I'm hearing many challenges. I'm hearing infrastructure challenges. I'm hearing starting with power. Someone mentioned energy power. One of the devastations of the earthquake, as I understand it, is that roads are even more challenged than they were before. But what strikes me, and especially hearing from what you're saying, is that identifying need in one region may be very different than a need in another region, and that the way in which we can communicate a positive message, because after all, American foreign aid, I'm sorry to say, is not about what's right. It's about what's in it for us.
Exactly.
And it's true, my friend is in South Sudan right now, trying to bring United States foreign aid to Cuba. A whole nother set of infrastructure problems. But again, her constant pushback against Congress is, What's in it for American farmers? What's in it for American shippers? What's in it for, I mean, and it's as silly as, in order to bring aid of any kind of substance, apparently we bring our detritus with us too. We have to bring it on an American flag ship. And we have to buy it from American farmers, even though investing in farmers in Haiti would be the logical, almost moronically simple solution to many of these things. So I guess what I'm pulling away from all of this, and I'm sorry if I'm not being terribly focused because this is emotional as well as practical, is the need for that local, and I guess my question to everyone is, we have community boards here in New York City. We have a city council. There are borough governments here in New York. Are there parallels with whom we can foster or encourage others to foster direct connection? Just like the World Bank no longer lends to the government of Papua New Guinea, they actually go to village by village by village and say, you need a bridge, you need a power plant, you need a dam. This is what they do. It's global micro lending. Taking the lending part out of it and trying to focus on the local. How do we connect folks with that kind of on the ground knowledge that can actually make all the things that you're talking about actually work? I guess that's my question.
I give it a shot. I think a great observation you have made about how the world organizations are changing strategies, right? Except that we grassroots organizations are not changing our strategies to respond to the new paradigms. And I truly, listen, before I came here, I truly thought about what Community Bud 7 is doing, bringing together people from different fields to share perspectives, right, on a single country, Haiti, at this time, right? So bringing together experts, practitioners, people who have lived, who have had the experience. I'm not even talking about, professionals like us on the panel. I'm talking about ordinary Haitians to share their experiences is important. We have to hear their voices. They are here, and then so the way you bring people together here is a great idea.
Maybe this is the beginning of a conversation.
Absolutely.
And maybe we should, whether we do it through the community board or we create something new,
right,
where we continue the conversation and try to do something positive.
And it has to happen.
I would like to say something.
Okay, this gentleman in the back.
No, just to answer his question.
Sure.
Very fast. He's from Gonaives. He knows the mayor of Gonaives. That's a good channel. I'm from Hench. I can tell you about the delegates and the mayors in the area. That's where you go. He is from Mirbale. He can tell you. He can tell you the mayor and the delegate in that department, and through that we can channel him.
Okay, the gentleman in the back, please stand up, tell us your name, and speak up
My
so
name
we
is
can hear you.
Jacques Denis. I was born and raised on West 88th Street. My parents came here. My father came here in 54. My mom came here in 57, right before Duvalier came into power. So they were coming to really get some. My mother came to adventure, my father came to get just a new perspective on things. And so I grew up here. I had an opportunity to go to Quebec City and study in French, and I came back. And at the time, Haitian Creole was not a language you spoke, or you want your kids to speak if you were here in the United States. But my grandmother only spoke Haitian Creole. She didn't know how to read, write, or speak French. But she owned land, and she was and she was a very, very smart woman. And she made sure all her 5 kids went to school and graduated from high school age, which was a big thing at the time. Fast forward, I'm 57 years old. Lived a life that I have 2 master's degrees. in language and literacy. I taught ESL for many years, and workforce development, and also I have a master's in public administration. What has been the driving force for me, besides my faith, has been really the always the very, I'd say, bifurcated interests in Haiti and here. Many people of my generation who were born here, or those who came after especially, have sort of a schizophrenic kind of view. And there's always that wanting to do for Haiti, but also that need to make a living and do well. So it's a do well and do good thing going on. So I'm here. A friend of mine told me about this this amazing thing here today, and I just want to. I've always been interested in the CB7, but again, it's like, where do you really put your time? So, and where do you commit, which is the most important thing, your time. So at this time, I think I'm ready to say that I am committed to helping in any way. I think one of the things that's needed definitely, from my perspective, is a website that has information about Haiti, where people can learn, an ongoing thing. That would be where to start with me. I think that would be the place to start.
Well, there is several organizations. One of the things that started happening recently now, that started happening, I became aware of it about 2.5 years ago, where they started taking elected officials, with the Haitian elected officials. They started taking elected officials to Haiti, have trips to Haiti, where professionals here who are interested in helping Haiti started doing that. And then Heal Haiti is one of the organizations that does go to Haiti. You do the work in Haiti, and you actually are doing work in Haiti. I have to say that, yes, usually every day I wear a suit. I wear a suit, I go to court, I'm in an office, but when I'm in Haiti with Heal Haiti, I'm in jeans, a t-shirt, lifting boxes, do whatever the doctors and them needed to help these people. And I'm in, I'm making sure they have access, helping them get access to the services that Heal Haiti provide. I think is that what happened, I think, a lot of times is that we have a media view of Haiti, and I encourage everyone. People say Haiti's not safe, and I say this: I'm from Queens, live in Queens. I reside in Astoria. There's some parts of Queens I'd rather go to Haiti 20 times before I go to that part of Queens. I'm from Queens. There's some part of Manhattan you can catch me walking at night. There's some part of Brooklyn you can catch me walking at night. So if it's for safe, are there parts of Haiti that stay just like the rest of the world? Every country, every city, every state has a part that is unsafe. Just like you do your research here, do your research, find out what part is safe, what part is not safe. And there's websites, there's resorts, there's all of this. So you could go on vacation and see it. And I guarantee you, that water will make you have a weakness for it more than your wife or husband.
Let me just
And then you can go in
interject,
there.
like we're winding up. But, okay, I will, but everybody should sign in, put your name, your email address, and perhaps we can continue the conversation and try to work together. Yes.
I'm Susan Schwartz, I'm a member of the community board, but not on this committee. I just want to say that the only people in the United States who are not immigrants were Native American Indians.
Right. Let me clap for that. That is so true.
You know, my parents came from Russia and Poland, and I remember growing up, and there were many languages spoken in my grandparents' home. My grandparents spoke Yiddish, except when they didn't want my father and his brothers to understand, and then they spoke Russian. And, there were foreign language newspapers around. So when my stepson, when I think about how he grew up and his grandparents speak only English, and they are from San Francisco and Chicago, it's just sort of, and New York, it's sort of strange to me because my grandparents are from other parts of the world. So I think that the President of the United States is sorely mistaken because he's not from here either. So when he talks about, you know, immigration, I personally have a problem with that.
We should wrap up soon, but I just wanted to say that it's so wonderful to be in community and to be talking about these things. And it's something that I love most about the community board is that we're here together and we can have these conversations. And the idea for this event actually came to be because the conversation that I had with a good friend of mine who works in this building, his name's Claude, and after the really hurtful comments in the news about Haiti, I had a really long conversation with him just on the street, and he talked to me we talked for maybe a half an hour, and after I left that in that conversation, I said, you know, Claude, what should we do? Like, what can we do? And so I came to this community board and said, what should we do? Like, how can we engage in conversation? And this event came to be, and it's been really wonderful to just hear stories and talk and come up with ideas. But I just want to emphasize that just engaging in these conversations can be one of the most powerful things we can do, just right where we are, and beautiful things can come of that. And so I'm really glad that we got to spend this evening with you. And I hope to be able to see you again, talk again.
Thank you so much.
And Shelley had a comment.
Just a quick comment. There was a bit of controversy at our last meeting, whether we should just focus on Haiti. Let's focus on all the countries that are going the immigration issues and so on and so forth and respected. And I think we've proven the wisdom of focusing on one country, one culture, and how it applies here to get into depth and understanding rather than more superficial understanding of common problems. Thank you all for sharing.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Could I